A lot of golf for her to play, and a lot of golf left today for Lexi. You got 3 par 5s on the back 9 coming up, including the 10th, which is where we find Korea's Narin on.
Yeah, 28-year-old, just in her 3rd year on tour. A rather poor layup in that it ended up in the left rough, but it's a good angle to this hole location that's on the right-hand side. Wind helping. Got to be careful for a little bit of a jumper or some hit and release when this ball lands on the hole. When this ball lands on the green, excuse me. And judged that pretty nicely.
Third season looking for her first victory. She's had some chances.
Well, I was giving her this as a made green. Technically, it was off the fringe.
Yeah, you're generous like that. All
she
right,
actually,
Narin on. Yeah.
Grant, Allison's ball ended up on the green in 2 and rolled over the green, so she had a chance to be on the green in 2, putting for eagle, but that didn't happen. So many of the edges around these greens roll away. Got some steep, closely mown areas.
All right, Narin on to tie the lead.
Narin is a very steady player. There's not too much that goes wildly wrong with her game. Really working her way into a nice, consistent young professional. Models herself after Na Yun Choi, who has been a tremendous professional major champ.
Lead entering the 3rd round of the JM Eagle LA Championship the end of April, and then was tied going into the final round with her countrywoman Hannah Green. Grace struggled, wound up in a tie for 25th. Narin on, getting ready at the 11th.
She has the honor and therefore will be the guinea pig of sorts on this par 3. Wind mostly left to right, hurting just a tad. The other players will pay attention to the flight of this ball and how it's affected by the wind.
It's been one of the firmer greens on this course, Kay. Players struggling to get it close.
Well, that looked like a well-struck shot, Morgan, and it came up short, rolling back away from the green, and there's an instance where the wind probably hurt it a little more than just simply left to right.
Into the par 5 here after stumbling on the 4th.
Allison Corpuz unable to make birdie at the 11th, and now Narin on for par.
Narin hit a decent little pitch off a tight lie with a severe upslope. It kind of sat and grabbed a little late, so consequently 9-10 footer for par. She's a player that has played fairly consistently this year. 3 missed cuts, 2 top 10s. Her best finish was at the match play where she lost in the semis to eventual winner Nelly Korda.
I really like her putting stroke, Kay. It's very simple. She almost has the heel of the putter just slightly off the ground a little bit, which eliminates face rotation. She's just got a very simple stroke.
That could loom large. Stays at 15 under. Has a couple of wins in Korea and beat some big. Had 5 3-putts through the first 36 holes, none since. Narin on at 12.
This green tilts front to back, and she got lucky with that shot, Morgan. Didn't strike it really well.
Here's to think about.
Wow. Narin on, trying to become a co-leader, this at the 12th.
I'm seeing a little bit of a double break to this putt. It's slightly downhill, left to right initially, then trying to pull back to the left again.
Oh, after that bounce, Kay, you said she didn't hit that second shot very well, but what a way to walk away with birdie here.
Now tied for the lead at the 13th. Narin on.
Grant, 6-iron in hand, little wind helping right to left. Oh, and she struck that extremely well. Very straight shot.
Really straight. First got to know not.
As we've gone through this day, I mean, Lilia Vu is one shot back right now. She has 17 and 18 to play. We've already seen a multitude of eagles, 3 eagles so far on 18 here. Narin on putting for eagle on 14. You mentioned those 2 par 5s. They're going to be pivotal here coming down the stretch, especially that final hole.
She has such a silky putting stroke to complement that beautifully tempoed golf swing. And the 28-year-old. So she stays tied at the top with On, and now we'll check in with her for birdie.
Yeah, and On, you know, she's one of those players like Allison Corpuz, just in her 3rd year on this tour, and she won Q Series. So that kind of opened a lot of people's eyes to her talent. I mean, that's a tough feat to go through the qualifying process and win that event that gets you your tour card. Oh my goodness.
Wow, Kay, a player who's top 5 in the field in putting this week. A 3-putt there for par. That is shocking.
That completely surprised me, and I know it surprised her. It'll be interesting to see how she responds after that.
I almost gave her that in my head. I was considering that a
Back at Blythefield Country Club in the 15th tee with Narin on.
Narin just saw Allison Corpuz hit a pretty solid 8-iron, going with the same club.
How did she seem, Kay, how does she seem walking off of that green there?
A little disheveled. And
really to never give up. And not to say that she gave up in LA, but things just started to spiral out of control. And I've been impressed with the way she hasn't gotten too far ahead of herself after losing that big lead through only the 4th hole.
Well, Kay, this isn't exactly the distance you want to be from the hole, trying to lag putt after what just happened on the last. She wants to get this quite close, I'm sure.
yeah, you're exactly right, Kelly. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of self-belief to put a mistake behind you and not let it infiltrate into your confidence or your thoughts on putting. This is close to a 40-footer. Ideally, she'd like to just snuggle it up there to tap-in range.
It's very similar to the distance she had before, just a little farther away.
Hoanna, sometimes a little bit of bumpiness and inconsistency, but overall they roll pretty purely. But this is a big putt now for Narin. Kelly, you alluded to it, you know, missing that short putt on the last hole. And see if she can just steady herself and put a good solid stroke on it. She has a really simplistic putting stroke and stays very steady over it.
Okay.
That was a big important putt, especially after the last hole. Was able to shift, seeing a more fluid flowing swing from Lexi this week.
She'll have a good look at 15 as we get back to on the tee at 16.
Hard dog leg left. This going to the left side. Fairway slopes left to right here.
Here at the par 4 16th, this is the second shot for Narin on.
Not a very good lie, Kelly, in the deep primary rough. 123 yards. Going to try to gouge something out and get it up that steep hill.
It looked like a really straight-faced club. But, I mean, coming out of the rough to that front hole location is...
Narin on has a long putt here. trying to get to 17 under, but more importantly, just trying to do the smart thing.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of an effort to two-putt from nearly 80 feet away. She looked at a spot about 2/3 of the hill. Quite speedy, right to left break. Oh, and she underhit it by a pretty large margin.
You kind of feel like you're
Look at
putting
it.
off a cliff there, Kay, and it's, I mean, not bad for distance control, but just didn't get it anywhere near high enough.
Well, her history on this green is certainly forgettable in her mind. Three-putted it from 5 feet earlier this week, and back at the 16th, and a par putt for Narin on. You know, she had that putt earlier, Kay, that she's tried to shake off, and so far pretty good, but also has the recent memories of the 3-putt from short range here earlier in the week. So she's battling a few thoughts right now that could be pulling her in a negative direction.
Definitely. And the issue is this is such a difficult putt that she faces. It has so much right to left break. She's eyeing a spot at least 3 feet, if not more, higher than the hole to allow for the right to left curve. And Morgan, if she's not careful, she could 3-putt from this position.
Yeah, this is you're going to have to pick a spot on the hole that you want this to enter, and it's nearly dead sideways, Kay, right at about 3 o'clock.
These are the kind of putts that can drive you insane with this game of golf. And you just have to trust your line, trust your speed. This has a very low probability of going in. I think she's just trying to manage an easy 2-putt from this point.
And when you have that much break on a putt, it's not unusual to be tentative.
I don't know about that one, but I guess it's just her state of mind right now.
I mean,
Up the 17th, second for On.
Golden opportunity for her to get one inside 15 feet or so. Just a slight downhill lie, 9-iron in hand, only 118 yards to the hole, playing it a little bit longer. Little low trajectory shot.
yeah, it's impossible to get it close to this hole with a low trajectory shot, but
We're back with Narin On at the 17th, trying to get back into this tie for the lead.
Although this is close to a 30-footer, it is makeable. Putting slightly downhill initially, then flattening out as it gets closer to the hole.
yeah, it looked like it took a little bobble early.
Oh, and that comes up well short, Morgan. Not a gimme by any means.
Yeah, that little hop right off the putter face definitely took some speed off of it.
And up on the green, we have On for par.
And she got a good look off of Allie's putt, knowing that this is not that fast. She can go ahead and hit it. Maybe keep it inside right edge.
Really solid stroke there, especially considering what we've seen from her the last couple holes. She's had a couple of really good strokes.
Balance in the field. Happy Father's Day to all once again as we go back to the 18th tee and catch up with Narin On.
Well, all these players know what they need to do. Narin with driver, wind helping right to left, this going left.
Well, left you can get blocked out, have some tree trouble over there. Just make there for Allie.
And now the second for On, way left off the tee.
Yeah, just trying to punch it back out into the fairway, but does not get it through the primary rough, and that is not a good lead.
And now we will go up and watch the third shot of On at the 18th.
She actually has a shot. The lie is not terrible in the primary, but with this right hole location coming out of the rough, 151 yards left, Right to left wind. Not going to be easy, and she's pushed that.
Yeah, this rough has been her downfall. Poor tee shot here, poor tee shot on 16.
Now has real trouble here, needs the 4, and is in a very precarious spot. The percentages here are practically 0, but look, we've seen some funny things happen over the course of time.
Well, the good news is it's all closely known, and she doesn't have to deal with an extremely steep incline to the hole. She went up to the edge of the green and kind of even read the slope and what the ball will do once it gets onto the green. Decent lie out of the primary.
Took that first hop straight up in the air. Took all.
Now Grace Kim in a spot of bother on the 18th hole, as we now catch up with On for par.
And I think we've seen that On has the ingredients to win out here. She's had 3 times she's finished 3rd. Her mentor is Na Yeon Choi, who has won 9 times out here, including the 2012 U.S. Women's Open. So it's a shame things didn't work out for her down the stretch, but I look for good things out of Narin on the rest of the year.
Yeah, some very loose swings when it mattered most on this back 9, but a lot